Today on the show, we open up the Inside Stuff vault to honor this year's Hall of Fame nominees.
And you definitely have to have your soda and your popcorn.
Plus, the Celtics' Al Horford helps out his team on the floor and at home.
It's what marriage is all about, making sacrifices for each other in order for our home to be at best it can.
And head coach Quin Snyder has Utah all jazzed up for the stretch run.
It's going to be a team that nobody's going to really want to face in the postseason.
That's all coming up on NBA Inside Stuff.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Grant Hill.
And I'm Kristen Ledlow, and I'm also glad you introduced yourself. It's been so long. They may not remember. I barely remember. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back.
He was, of course, busy working the NCAA tournament, and our congratulations to Villanova. What a run. A lot, though, has changed since you were here, primarily the fact that they told me I now have to refer to you as the Hall of Famer Grant Hill.
I like that.
Not bad. It does have a ring to it. Congratulations on being elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame. What, though, was your initial reaction to hearing that news?
I don't think anything prepares you for that phone call. I was overwhelmed. I was just in awe of the honor. I was surprisingly a little emotional, you know, and I'm not an emotional person, but it was just a great feeling, and I'm still on cloud nine. It's been a week since I found out.
Well, it's been more than 2 decades of basketball excellence. Is there anything that stands out in your mind as you reflect back on your career?
You trying to say I'm old? 2 decades?
I had to throw it in there just a little bit, you know.
So some of the highlights, great highlights. I mean, NCAA championships. I won a gold medal in 1996, All-Star games. Played with and against some of the best in the world. And as a result, I get a chance to co-host with Kalo.
Wait, don't even start. Wow. Well, we've gotten really good at this as you got really good at basketball. You mentioned playing against some of the best in the world. How do you feel about going in with some of, I mean, again, your contemporaries, Jason Kidd, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, some of the best in basketball?
And that's special. I mean, those 3 guys, I have great relationships with. I've known all these guys for a long period of time. You know, Jason and I, we were in the same draft, co-rookie of the year.
Yeah.
We retired the same weekend. Nash, of course, we played together in Phoenix, one of my close friends. And Ray Allen cut my hair at a camp back in 1992.
What? You trusted him with the fade?
And he's actually not bad.
Wow.
He's not just bad, not just good with the jump shot, but he's good with the Clippers.
All right.
You know, I'm top 3 in the game, so I got to make sure.
Easily, internationally, worldwide top 3 fades in the game. But besides going into the Hall, you, Jason, Steve, Ray have all had another prestigious honor, being featured on Inside Stuff. So we've gone back through the archives for you guys' appearances over the years for this Hall of Fame edition of Retro Stuff.
You have to tune in. Check it out.
And playback.
Life is basketball, and basketball is life. Their ups and downs, their decisions, their relationships. You know, it's all encompassing.
And we cut.
When I started playing basketball, I fell in love with it. I was shooting in the dark and shooting in the rain, and sometimes I'd be out here with my brother quite a lot, and we'd play full court one-on-one on this court, and we'd only play for about 10 or 15 minutes because it would end in a fight. I'm just going to try to work as hard as I can every day from now to the rest of my life. And I don't know what to say. It's just a dream come true, and it's unbelievable. It's beyond words.
Perfect.
Steve Nash has the rebound for the Suns. Out of backcourt with his hair in the breeze. Keeps coming. Shot off with the left hand.
Steve Nash, in my opinion, is the best point guard to ever play.
You talk about Jordan and Bird and Magic. They all had the same thing. It's the same thing that you have, is the fact that you're always coming out. You can't relax for one moment.
Any way you want to compliment, you know, compare me to those guys.
Well, I get to compare you to those guys now because you've won 2 straight MVPs. Therefore, you are in that category.
I've always been an underdog too. You know, I wasn't supposed to play in college. I wasn't supposed to play in the NBA, so I'd be a very marginal player if I didn't have that attitude of needing to prove myself every play.
When I get to the NBA, I don't know what I might do.
Oh, wraparound move by Kidd. Kidd went the other way and finished lefty.
Here comes Jason Kidd. Off to Jackson.
But I might surprise you with one of these.
When I'm out there on the floor, I kind of see things happening faster than
I guess, my teammates or my opponents. So maybe that's what gives me an extra edge.
Well, you're the best point guard in the world. And if I beat you in golf today, will that make me the best golfer in the world?
Yeah. Hey, there's no kid in town. It was a lot of fun today shooting this commercial. And now my new investment, instead of buying cars, will buy a horse or 2 mules. Less expensive. All I have to do is feed them and clean up after them.
Yo, fella, you the best.
I got the young guy. You're my foot.
Now, this was a surprise. To win Rookie of the Year, this was a big surprise. I didn't think it was possible. I thought Grant, had a great season. Also, I'd like to thank Grant Hill for sharing half the trophy with me. NBA Entertainment, Grant Hill, take 1.
Tonight we get a chance to see one of the most talented players in the NBA, Grant Hill, having a terrific season.
Grant Hill spins and slams. Please welcome Grant Hill. Wow, what a play by Grant Hill.
The 1995 Schick Rookie of the Year, Grant Hill.
I have a great history book for you. British, Irish history, world history. Let's just see. It might...
She's making it up. Oops. But so for inside stuff here, maybe there's a possibility that you could maybe sing something and sound good. Maybe a little bit later on the day when we're hanging out, maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, what do you want to do today?
I do need to get a haircut. I got a game coming up.
It's really important how you get your hair cut. See, you want to be smooth.
Grant Hill's your favorite player?
Grant Hill?
Please welcome Grant Hill.
Here is the Detroit Pistons, Grant Hill.
Let Grant Hill play this. Yeah, a little tighter play this.
Hill on the run, still with the dribble, foul line, dotted line to the hoop, scoop,
I don't believe what I just saw.
Keep on, Pat. Grant Hill with the explosion.
Grant, you sure were good tonight.
And last but not least, me. Hi, I'm Ray Allen, and I play shooting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks.
A ray of sunshine. Ray Allen, are you kidding me? What a beautiful shot. He has 10 points.
Number 34, Ray Allen! Comes to Ray Allen, he's going to right down the middle and jam it.
That guy is unstoppable.
I got you, Ray. Go. Hammer. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. Come on.
You have to have the Twizzlers, and you definitely have to have your soda. That's a given.
Okay.
And your popcorn.
Like
and I guarantee you will enjoy the movie. If you would have saw the way that the people looked at me when I was running down the court, they're like, what was that?
That was you. Did you know that?
Check this out. New Jersey, same old Ray.
Bullet pass to Ray Allen, shaking.
On the line. Oh, no.
Back to Ray, 3, on the way. And Ray Allen. Bringing up a triple.
Woo. I'm hot.
So those are the 4 Hall of Fame headliners. Grant, hopefully we can get you that same haircut for the enshrinement ceremony.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice, retro.
Yeah, it's looking clean. This class, though, has a total of 13 new members, and now we want to tell you about some of the others.
And they include 2 of the legends of women's basketball, Tina Thompson and Katie Smith, and Ora Mae Washington, a 2-sport star of basketball and tennis, plus longtime college coach Lefty Giselle, who went to Duke University.
I've heard.
And distinguished executives Rick Welts and Rod Thorne.
And rounding out the group, a pair of all-star guards, Mo Cheeks, Charlie Scott, along with one of the premier European players, Dino Raja. They'll all be enshrined in September. Do you have a speech ready?
I do not.
Are you going to thank me? It's okay. We have time to talk about that. There's a whole lot more to come, so stay tuned.
Yes.
I want the inside stuff.
Still to come, Boston Celtics big man Al Horford enjoys some home cooking.
As a husband, I just want to be supportive and set a good example for my daughter and my son. I think the best example is how he sees that I treat, his mom and other women around.
And later, Utah head coach Quin Snyder breaks down his love of the game.
Little things, I'm going to keep emphasizing it. Let's go, start the clock.
To be afforded the opportunity to help someone get better at what they're doing, to perfect their craft, and to impact that is something that's rewarding.
That's the inside stuff.
It's a real logjam in the Western Conference playoff race. The Utah Jazz are right in the thick of it. They're making a late surge to try and get the 4th seed, and they're winning under the leadership of, I believe, a fellow Dookie, Quin Snyder.
After starring for the Blue Devils at Duke, Quin began coaching as an assistant under Coach K from Duke and kept climbing the ladder to the NBA. Now, in his 4th season as coach of the Jazz, he's molded them into contenders. So we went all access with Quin from Duke to find out how he brings the best out of his team.
This is the start of the game. We got to get the tee spot covered. 3 minutes on the clock. Flow. Let's go. Start the clock.
I'm Quin Snyder, and this is why I coach.
You got to be a little more, dialed in. Little things. I'm going to keep emphasizing it.
It's one of the things that's most satisfying is just the teaching process. And to be afforded the opportunity to help someone get better at what they're doing, to perfect their craft, and to impact that is is something that's rewarding.
That's hard to guard. You got him in the corner, you're downhill. It's good, Rich.
I think everybody's worked to get better. It's been something that guys individually have taken pride in.
We shouldn't have to flip. Okay, we get unders, we can pitch, we can get on the rim.
And then eventually you start to see the fruits of some of those labors. And having some success gives you momentum, and you want more.
Good. Set it. Come on, 8. I want to go. I want to go. Yes! Good job, Donovan. Way to play it. Here we go. Here we go. Same.
When we think of culture, I think of identity. And the identity that our team is we've tried to embrace is that of a defensive team.
We got to execute on D. We got to play at a high level and get stops. We get stops. You got to get it in your mind to attack the rim in transition.
But teams are going under on Smith.
There's a steal. Donovan knocked it away. Rudy wants it. Runs it down the floor. What giant step inside for the big man.
Turnover. Picked up by Mitchell. Outlet to O'Neal. Gives to Ingles, and he packs it with a left hand.
Way to attack, Joe. Good.
This Utah Jazz team is as hot as any team in the NBA.
It's going to be a team that nobody's going to really want to face in the postseason.
We're putting the time in. I think any time that you invest in something, that desire and that passion, is the result of that. It's nice to be in a profession or doing a job or having an opportunity to be passionate about what you do. And that's one of the most exciting things about this job.
That passion is rubbed off on the Jazz, who have gone on a tear for the second half of the season and put Quin from Duke in the conversation for the Coach of the Year.
And among the teams battling with Utah for that position in the West is the Thunder. Our mate, Steven Adams, threw down one of the week's most thunderous dunks, which you'll see up next, along with the rest of the week that was, in the latest edition of Rewind.
Over the top. Adams skying, and he's fouled in the act. That'll be an and one. 6/10 of a second left. The Heat lead by 3. To Collins. Blocked by Richardson. The Heat are in the NBA playoffs, and they win their way in. There's Monk. Fake to drop. That was impressive. Well, this won't be up.
I'm sorry for screaming. Alex agreed it.
Shot clock running down. Chris Paul puts it away. Left his mark in the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Daniel House, little up and under on the lob, and then flies in with the emphatic one-hand jam. No, he did not. Yes, he did.
Here they come.
Zubac explodes on the Spurs.
Or lobs to the rim. Alley-oop dunk for Davis.
And Smith able to poke it away from Lillard. He'll bounce it to himself. It goes over the rim. He jumps up and stuffs it.
As always, you can check in with us on social media using the hashtag InsideStuff and stay in touch online. We post extra stuff every week, and you can find it on NBA.com.
April is National Autism Awareness Month, and the NBA is doing its part to raise awareness for children and families living with autism. As part of that effort, the league is making the NBA store in New York more accommodating for those with sensory issues.
And this week, it became the first ever sensory-inclusive retail store in the world. Some kids on the autism spectrum dropped by for a tour, and they were treated to a shopping spree from the Knicks' Kyle O'Quinn. They also found out how the store is now specifically designed to meet their needs.
We are wanting everyone to feel like they can come here and have a good experience. I'm with Culture City, and we're partnering with the NBA store to create a sensory inclusive location. What are some areas that you could see as overwhelming? Our goal is to create cities that are sensory inclusive so that families can come and plan out an entire trip based on our sensory inclusive locations.
I'm calling this ZFA. They call them KYLE.
For these guys, this was a life-changing experience. These are sports fanatic guys who got an opportunity to meet one of their heroes, to get a tour of the store, to get all their stuff. This is a dream come true for them.
Yeah, we're going shopping. I think we got these for you guys. Gift cards to do the shopping.
These guys are smart. They know a lot about basketball, so to see them comfortable in the area that, you know, we live in every day is just, it means a lot.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah? I think it was an honor for us to meet Kyle O'Quinn. Not every day do you get a chance to meet an NBA player or even have a tour of the NBA store. So I thought it was overall a great experience.
What'd you get?
I got a Porzingis jersey.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Porzingis, can you?
Nah.
It brings these guys joy and entertainment, so I'm glad I could help, you know, in that area.
That is true. That's very hard to find those size shoes. It was very important to me that I got to spend this day with Kyle O'Quinn and all these other great people at the NBA store.
You're shooting around, you might feel it. Oh, you got your jersey. You gotta get it.
I gotta get it.
My favorite part of the day is my man finding his DeRozan the North shirt. He's been talking about it all day, and I'm so glad that he found it. You know, he's gonna rock that with big time pride.
Oh, I got my DeRozan. Let's go. That's all I wanted. I got my DeRozan.
Before we go, a look ahead to next week. A Pistons Hall of Famer, not Grant this time, Isaiah Thomas. He'll sit down with Washington Wizards All-Star point guard John Wall.
What is it that's driving you? What is making you get up every single day and say, I can be the best?
Well, for one is not being talked about at all. And then seeing all the work that you put in every day, constantly behind the scenes that nobody see. Then you start to take that rise of, okay, he might be a top 10 point guard, might be a top 5. Where now you're debated if you're one of the top 2 best point guards. And then to say it, you got to go back and read all your history of all the other point guards, you know what I mean? But it's like you have that confidence, nobody's better than you. You got to go out there and accept that challenge.
That's our show for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Hill.
And I'm Kristen Ledlow. We'll see you next week, and we leave you with some career highlights from the 4 newly minted Hall of Famers. Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Jason Kidd. What was the other guys? Oh, Grant Hill.
That's right. All right. It's me.
LeBron against Fareed. Allen for 3. Ray Allen plus a foul.
There's the spin. Look at that. Crosses over. Grant sizes up on the arm, goes baseline, reverses. Oh, yes! Just ran into a mouth. Jim to throw in. He does that. What a play. How about the pass by Kidd? Kidd down into the paint. And a pretty look. Now that's Kernan.
Diaw taking his time, finds Nash, puts up a 3, and got it! Suns trail by a single point. 1 minute remaining in the ball game. Nash over on the left side. Nash on the drive. Nash stops, gets it underneath deep. Out it comes to Stoudemire, and he scores!
26-21. Nash left wing, right hand dribble behind the back to his left, gets inside on Jason Terry. Backs in, ducks, lean, circus shot. That's going to roll home with a foul.